8:41, it's Jeff and Jeremy in the morning online, KZOZ.com, your home for the Final Four. Tom Petty, number 4 seed coming out of the Petite Terrace region.
What episode of Parks and Rec is that featured on? American Girl?
I don't know.
You don't?
I don't watch Parks and Rec. Nobody watches that show as much as you do.
The shot when they're pulling away from the Harvest Festival and Leslie Knope successcully pulls off the Harvest Festival.
I think you think it's cool that nobody watches the show and you talk about it all the time. And nobody cares.
American Girl. Because it is the smartest television show on TV. It is the smartest funniest.
The number one show. I mean, people talk about The Office. It's the number one show and has been on Netflix from day one.
Right.
And you're talking about Parks and Rec.
Because Parks and Rec,
which was a spin-off, an afterthought.
No,
and
not the case.
Didn't have the same legs.
Actually, it's a totally different show. It's nothing like The Office.
Well, no, when they spun it off, it was just like The Office, and they changed it.
Well, they were looking for something to replace The Office, and they're like, oh, this show's kind of like The Office. If you like The Office, then you'll like this. But then they realized that people did not want more Office. They want a show on their own. And then they after season 2, man, it got legs. It got legs. It got getaway sticks.
It did.
Huh? It got getaway sticks. And that season, the last season, the whole Grizzle subplot, that's ringing true today.
What Grizzle?
Oh, surveillance.
What are you talking about?
Surveillance society. It's Grizzle.
Exactly. What are you talking about?
Grizzle's essentially Google. But they can't say Google, so they call it Grizzle. And there's like these hip cats coming to you. They're like, "It's cool, bro. We're just going to take all your information and we're going to source it out and sell it to a bunch of people." And but it's totally chill because it's where all your friends are at, man.
Sounds more like Facebook.
And it was a look into the future. A little bit of both, to be honest with you. It's so funny. I had this story that Scott had in his news today. I thought of Grizzle on the when I heard it earlier, and they're like AG. They're like, "Hey, man, we're just going to source all your surveillance cameras on your homes. It's going to make our jobs easier. It's going to make your community safer. All we need to do is access your cameras, bro." I was like, this is Grizzle. This is Grizzle. Surveillance. We live in a surveillance society. We're all cool with it because you know what? It's being dressed up to us as the thing to do.
A lot of people are with you writing in on the 805 text line, the 805 Beer text line at 805-543-3693 that they love Parks and Recs. Listen, I'm not saying that
it's a great show.
That it's not a bad show. I like the show as well. I don't think that many people are into it as much as Jeff is to where they would remember Tom Petty's American Girl and what episode it was on.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you the number of the episode. I know it was 3rd season. I think it was episode 10. But I might be wrong on that.
That's okay. Anyways, can we get back to Tom Petty now? Number 4 seed taking on the number 13 seed, Alice in Chains, which I said was one of the most unbalanced, crappy matchups. I felt bad for Alice in Chains. It's like, why did you even get the invitation if you were going to be asked to leave in the first 5 minutes that you walked into the party? Well, sorry, that's the case, Alice in Chains. But who knows? Maybe there's a lot of Alice in Chains fans out there, and more Alice in Chains fans will fill out their brackets than Tom Petty fans, and that would be probably the biggest upset of the tournament if number 13, Alice in Chains, was able to knock off number 4, Tom Petty, in the first round. But I would say the chances of that are happening are less than your chances of winning the Powerball lottery.
That was actually a potential matchup in the, I guess what would be the 3rd round we just played with Journey and Tom Petty. Now Journey goes up against...
Oh, I have that matchup in on my bracket.
You do?
Yeah, I have Journey, an 8 seed, going up against number 4 seed Tom Petty.
You think Journey's going to beat out the Beatles?
Oh yeah, no.
You don't? Because that's who they have to beat. Journey has to beat the Beatles in order to advance.
Oh, yes. I guess you're right. I do. Well, I'm not a Beatles fan. So I'm guessing a lot of people it's probably not going to go that way. I'm sure the people will pick the Beatles over Journey.
Thank you, Bill. Bill on the 805 Beer text line said it's the 7th episode of the 3rd season. It was the Harvest Festival. Thank you, Bill.
You know what's amazing?
You're a bigger fan than I
is look at all these people coming up and saying that they're a Parks and Rec fan, like just coming out of the woodwork, just right out of the closet.
Do me a favor, Jeremy.
Leslie Knope fan club.
Fire up the Amazon Prime and just watch season 7, because what season 7 is because it ended, I believe, in 2015. Season 7's a look ahead to 2017, 2018, and like where they are in the future. And they hit on so many predictions in the future. When it was filmed in 2015, that actually happened in 2017. Like the Cubs winning the World Series, that was supposed to be a joke. on the flash forward when it ended when did it end? In 2015. It was supposed to be a joke that the Cubs won the World Series. They ended up winning the World Series that year. Parks and Rec predicts the future in season 7.
Okay.
All the way around. Not from surveillance from entities like Facebook and Google to the Cubs winning the World Series, and then on some of them they horribly miss on. But they're supposed to be jokes, I mean that's what it was.
All right, we're doing a poll. I got to know what I want to know it can only be on our Facebook page.
Why can't it be on?
What show is better?
Why can't
The Office or Parks and Rec?
Why can't it be the KZOZ.com poll today?
Oh, I guess it could be, but I was just going to put it on our Facebook page.
Okay, put it on our Facebook page because I think it might be a little niche.
Yeah, and I kind of we get really good response on it. So that's going up right now. You can vote. All you Parks and Rec people can prove me wrong, and maybe it's the more popular show.
I think both shows are excellent.
They're both great.
I think both shows are excellent. I don't know why I find myself gravitating more to Parks and Rec. I think it's because every time I watch it, I notice something new in one of the episodes that's a joke. It was so well directed. Like, there's an episode when...
I always just felt there was a lot of dumb jokes in the show.
There is.
And I just like...
It is. It's almost dad humor.
Yes. It was just like... Okay.
There's this one scene I noticed the other night, for example. In one of the episodes, Andy Samberg, he's the park ranger, and the reason why he got moved out of the office to working in the park is because he's a loud talker and he talks like this all the time. Hey, how's it going, Leslie? Saw Avatar the other night. Didn't live up to its expectations. He's talking like that, so they move him outside, right? Well, it's funny. In one of the episodes, he pulls up, he goes, "Hi, guys, how's it going?" He pulls up in a golf cart. And when he pulls up in the golf cart and he starts talking, all the birds that are like in the park fly away because he's talking so loud. They're scared. That's funny stuff. It's the little things of Parks and Rec that make it so good. Such a great show.
You can answer this poll question. It's up now on our Facebook page. It's at Jeff and Jeremy. What is the better show, The Office or Parks and Rec? You can just comment there.
I will say the final seasons of both of them, while I love the Grizzle subplot, it seemed a little rushed for it because NBC was just trying to scramble to get them off the air. And I have a conspiracy theory about Parks and Rec.
I never know. I didn't know how it ended. And I mean, The Office actually, even though a lot of people will say it went too long, and I would even agree that it probably went a little bit too long. They did finally have a way that it concluded.
Yeah.
And it was a good conclusion.
Both of them sucked. I thought the conclusion of The Office was bad.
Look at Seinfeld. Did anybody like the fact that they just got locked up
I think,
for not reporting somebody getting picked on?
I actually liked the finale of Seinfeld.
It was kind of dumb, though. I mean, the idea is funny, but I don't know.
I like the finale. The finale. You know what the worst finale is ever? It's forgettable. It's so bad. Everybody Loves Raymond. It is the worst of all the episodes of Everybody Loves Raymond. The finale is the worst episode of them all.
I'm trying to remember it.
Remember?
Why, was there a pregnancy or something? Oh, no. That was King of Queens.
Health scare.
Carrie got pregnant. Or no, they adopted a baby.
I think Marie went to the hospital. And they were afraid that she was going to die.
Oh. Okay.
I see. This is how forgettable. Maybe it was Frank. Maybe it was Marie. One of them went to the hospital. Maybe it was Raymond. Somebody went to the hospital, and they were afraid they were going to die. I think it was Raymond. And then it came out that he was okay, and they all went back to arguing, and then there was a shot of the dinner table. And that was it. That was done. The show was done. It was the worst finale of any show that I'm like, that's the finale? It was such a great show, great sitcom, long run, and that's the finale? I think finales never live up to the hype. Like, has there been a finale that stands out in your mind? It's like, oh yeah, that totally tied it all together when it comes to TV shows.
It's so hard because the show is such a big deal.
And you don't want it to go away.
And the hype of the show is such a big deal that, yeah.
Like,
how to end it.
There was only 13 episodes in the final season of Parks and Rec. And I believe because they started going down this road of surveillance, and NBC's a media company, so they probably rely heavy on data mining, especially moving forward into the future. They were just trying to keep this whole Grizzle subplot on the down low. And they were like running 2 episodes a week. It was done by January. It was just, all 13 episodes. Bam. It was out. It was done. And they're like, okay, the finale of Parks and Rec's coming up this week. Like, what? Okay, quick. That was quick.
Maybe it was The Sopranos, which is a totally different, show altogether.
Everybody hated that finale,
but
too.
Obviously, because you got to choose your own adventure there. The screen went black. The guys come in with a gun, and obviously they killed Tony Soprano, right?
No,
that's how I took it.
I don't know. Who knows? Maybe Tony got them.
All right, you can let us know. Better show, Office or Parks and Rec? KZOZ, it's our Facebook page, at Jeff and Jeremy.
Subscribe to the Jeff and Jeremy podcast now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and YouTube. It's your Central Coast commute-friendly podcast.